Hey explorers, this is GeoB from Learning Around the World's Geo Show, and I'm going to show you around Antigua, Guatemala. If you're watching this live or in the future, this is Geo Show, and this is a periscope live broadcast, which is part of Geoscope and Geo Show. And what we do is we travel around the world, and we bring classrooms around the world with us, with live broadcasts, virtual field trips, and all other kinds of cool content. Now, we are broadcasting pretty late on this Friday, Good Friday as a matter of fact, and the reason is we couldn't find, I ran out of phone data, and it took me forever, it took me all day, so I just got some more data, and I'm going to probably do quite a few broadcasts throughout the evening to show you this very wonderful festival. So if you're not familiar, this week is Holy Week, and so if you're a Christian, you would know that. And so we are in Antigua, Guatemala, and we are at arguably the largest festival for the Holy Week, or in Spanish is Semana Santa. So we're going to go ahead and take a look around, see what's going on. So we'll see here, we're going to walk the other way, but they are laying stuff down on the streets. We have nice cobblestone streets here in Antigua. If you're watching and you want to comment on this broadcast, you need to follow me. I will follow you back. However, this is for classrooms, so we want to be able to keep this nice and clean, the discussion on here. So what you're going to start to see in the middle of the streets, there's been processions going all day long since about 4 o'clock this morning, and you can see this one right here is made out of hay. These are these mats that they make in the middle of the roads, hay and flowers, and they put them down on the cobblestone streets, and people take a lot of pride into it, and it's quite magnificent. Some of these decorations that they make out of the flower petals, and it's also sawdust, so colored sawdust. And you'll see the water hoses out here. What they do is they wet them throughout once they design them, they try to keep them wet so the wind doesn't blow the sawdust or the flower petals. And you can see this is the largest Holy Week celebration, definitely in the Americas and arguably in the world. Last year there were about 1.2 million people that came to this festival, and you can see here's a chalk line that it looks like they're about to start designing another mat here. So here's the deal. What they'll do is they lay out these decorated mats on the cobblestone, and then later tonight there are going to be processions coming through here. Now, they've been going on since 4 o'clock this morning, but they kind of go with the story of Easter. So around 2 o'clock today, they had the last processions with large Jesus statues carrying a cross. And they had Roman soldiers dressed up coming through the streets earlier in the day, looking for Jesus. And so now, in the part of the story of Christ, is that Jesus has been crucified and he is dead. And so they have changed up the designs on a lot of these. You'll see, so here is a Jesus cross. So the later processions that are going to be starting up any time now are, instead of having Jesus on the cross, they're going to have Jesus in a coffin. So they'll be carrying him around because in this part of the story, he is dead. Now, the tradition with laying down hay and grass on the streets is because the cobblestone is hard to walk on, and it made it easier to walk on the cobblestones, carrying these big floats. Some of them weighs up to 2 to 3 tons, so some of them can be quite large. You can see lots of people out. And there's people out here laying there, starting to design their designs in the road. And so what's happening is we saw one of these processions earlier in the day. So families, businesses, they take a lot of pride. See people out here decorating here. And so they'll spend a lot of time making beautiful designs, but then when the procession comes through, they just walk right over it, and it messes it up. And after the end of each individual procession, they have people that come and clean up directly after them. So you can see they have stencils that they help to use to make the designs. And again, they wet the flower petals in the sawdust as they put it down. And this helps keep the design how it's meant to be. No gracias. All right, so you can see some of these are quite elaborate designs, and they put a lot of detail in them, which is kind of, and I was talking to Kelsey today about it, and it's really interesting how much time and work goes into these, and then the artwork, it only lasts for a couple of hours. So I don't know what time which procession comes through here. So each church in the city kind of has their own parade, and these things they go on all day long. The largest one started this morning at 4 a.m. and went until 2 p.m. And so they have just thousands of people that help. They have these large floats that they carry. They take turns. You'll notice. So as I was saying back to the story, you'll notice the guys that are wearing the black robes now. Earlier in the day, they were all wearing purple robes. Now, this signifies Jesus is now dead in the storyline, and so now everyone is mourning. So our processions or parades that happen in the evening tonight will all have coffins, and a lot of the designs or representing mourning of Jesus. And see, here's some people building more. And these streets, they've already been down them multiple times today. We can already see evidence. Here's from earlier today, where we had sawdust that is just in the cracks of the cobblestone, so they couldn't get everything up. So they come through the streets right after each parade, and they clean it up, and then they just lay new carpets down, design new ones right in front of it, on top of where the old ones were. And so it's just parade after parade all day long. All right, and so we can barely see the outline, but well, you can't even really see it on the phone, but let's see, right there is Volcano Agua that looks down right on Antigua. And so that's what we're doing here. Actually, we didn't come just to learn about Semana Santa this week. We came to learn about volcanoes. So if you're new to, you just happen upon this broadcast, my name is GOB. I run a program called Geo Show. We produce live broadcasts, virtual field trips, photography, all sorts of cool stuff for classrooms. And we're actually researching volcanoes. We're going to do a series of virtual field trips next week. That's when it's like Skype, so we Skype in the classrooms and have live shows and live discussions with kids. And we show them what we found out here in Guatemala. And but it just so happens that we happen to be in the city for Good Friday today, or Holy Week. And so there's just massive celebrations going on here. So we have to share it, of course, because that's what Geo Show is all about. So we'd love if you look into the program. You can follow us at www.geoshow.tv. I'll do a couple of broadcasts this evening once the parades start going. I tried to do one earlier, but I didn't have service, so we'll see how it goes. Share with a friend, colleague, or just follow along if you like to learn about the world. Until next time, guys, keep exploring.